Hello, welcome back to Out of Spec Reviews. I'm Jordan.
I'm Max, and we've got the ETaker M2000 power station. This is 2 kilowatt hours of battery in a pretty small size, so let's show you everything it can do.
Here at Out of Spec, we have a lot of devices we're always needing to charge because we do a lot of filming. And this is where this comes into play. It can charge a lot of things. The overall total output can be up to 2 kilowatts just from one of these, but you can actually stack a lot more of those, which we'll get into later.
So the ETaker M2000 is impressively compact for having 2 kilowatt hours of energy capacity. Compared to its competition that also has 2 kilowatt hours, like the Jackery 2000 or the EcoFlow Delta, this one is lighter. So those are pushing 20 kilograms. This is 16.8. That makes it about 7 pounds lighter for us Americans. In terms of volume, it's also impressively compact. It's roughly 14 inches long, it's about 8.5 inches wide, and it's about 10 inches in height. And we'll of course put centimeters for those of you on screen as well. So in terms of both volume and weight for the energy it's packing, it's so impressive. The reason they're able to do that is down to bleeding edge technology. So when it comes to the batteries in this, it's using semi-solid state lithium ion chemistry as opposed to LFP. So it's 30 to 50% more energy dense than a lot of the other options on the market. In addition, when it comes to the actual charging of devices, the inverter in this has third generation gallium nitride or GaN tech. You may have seen this in other bleeding edge electronics, but what that enables is really high efficiency, up to 96%. What that means is that this thing doesn't give off a lot of heat, it runs silently effectively as long as your load is under 1,000 watts. So it's cool, quiet, small, and pretty compact, all thanks to that cool tech.
So 2 kilowatt hours is a lot of energy. Let's say you've charged your cell phone like 150 times from this and it's dead. What will you do to charge it up? Well, inputs, we have a few different options here. They include the cables, of course, and this is probably the fastest one for sure. This is the kind of AC wall outlet, so up to 1.2 kilowatts, and that'll charge it from 0 to full in about 2 hours, either from a wall outlet or, some electric cars do have these sockets, so you can charge it pretty fast from, let's say, a Rivian or something like that. Another method to charge, of course, with clean energy in mind, is from like a solar array or a wind array. This is a common connector for those, and this will take about 2.5 hours to charge from a 1 kilowatt source of solar or wind. And lastly, we do have the car charger, which plugs into your typical cigarette lighter. This is definitely the slowest option, but it still works to charge it up, and it'll take about 7 to 20 hours, just depending on the wattage of that connector. But there's a lot of ways to connect this thing and get it back up to full capacity. So the real magic, I think, is with the conjunction function. You can actually connect multiple of these together. Here in the US, it's up to 10 total. But right here, we have 2 coupled together with this AC extend option. And that gives you this adapter with extra options, including a 240 volt outlet and all these other AC outlets, which I have kind of maxed out right now. Charging the motorcycle, laptop, phone, walkie-talkie, drill. I mean, you can plug in anything pretty much. But this gives you more capacity overall. So now we have like 4 kilowatt hours and more output overall. So we have up to 4 kilowatts shared output between these two. It's really awesome. And when you connect up to 10 together, I mean, that's a lot of energy. That would charge more than this motorcycle's worth of battery, and that would also be a great option for house storage. So like we said, with a group of like 10 of these, it's a great home storage solution, but other uses include like RV or camping, of course emergencies, keeping one in your like truck or SUV, and you can charge all your different appliances and tools and utilities and drones and everything, which we're getting into right now.
All right, so you can see on the screen here, we've got tons of power able to output. So right now, I wanna, let's say, quickly charge my MacBook. I can plug in my MagSafe cable with USB-C on the other end, and many laptops now support this. Power delivery spec, I have up to 100 watts across both of these USB-C ports. But not all tech is so modern. Some tech is a little bit older, and you may need to use USB-A. So of course, you can plug into one of these 4 USB-A ports, and 2 of these USB-A ports support Quick Charge 3.0, so I can also plug in more modern devices, like let's say one of Jordan's GoPros that needs some juice, plug that right in there. I always get this wrong. There's like 5 dimensions to these things. And let's say his drone needs some juice too. Can plug it in, so right up to 6 devices just on the USB banks alone.
For output, we also have the AC outlets. Over in Europe, they'll be the Euro style ones, but here in the US, it's these plugs, which we're all familiar with, 120 volts. And to turn the bank on, you just press and hold the button next to it. So that turns on the AC outlets right here. Then I can plug this in and that will charge my radio. Beyond that, of course, I have another section here. So why don't I plug in my kettle in case me and Max want to make some tea. and get that started there. Nice. So we have the kettle and the radio plugged in, and it is at nearly 1 kilowatt. As you can see on the screen, you can watch in real time, and this will also tell you how many hours you can support this exact load, which makes sense. 2 kilowatt hours, 1 kilowatt, drained in 2 hours. It's one thing to charge a radio or boil some water for tea, but we can go bigger than that. I have my nifty electric motorcycle right here. We'll get this plugged in as well. So now the electric motorcycle is charging up nicely at full speed at the household outlet rate of about 1.3 kilowatts. Because we've stepped above the 1 kilowatt rating, the fan turned on, which you probably didn't even realize because it's so quiet. This doesn't actually need to work that hard anyways though, because the entire thing is metal and the enclosure and everything works inside as a heat dissipation, has a great heat sink. So the thermals are really not a concern for this unit.
Jordan, it's really quiet in here. You're charging off this thing. Is that even on? I see lights, but no sound.
Yeah, actually it's completely silent, 0 decibels, under 1,000 watts, because there is no fan needed when it's that low power. I'm charging 3 devices here, my entire work setup, and you can't even tell it's on, but getting full capacity for these bad boys. Max, what exactly are you doing?
This thing can handle it. It's IP63 rated, so it's totally fine with some splashing and some light water, and it's totally dust proof. So I think it's pretty durable. Also, Jordan, you were talking about this being metal. Well, that 6 series alloy means that in addition to dissipating heat well, it's pretty darn durable. Still works.
So I'm just grabbing a cold drink from my cold fridge, which I just plugged into it. And that reminded me just how well this handles cold temperatures. Fortunately, we can't test that today because we'd freeze to death, but this thing would be fine at down to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. For you Celsius enthusiasts, it's minus 30 Celsius. And it can do that through preheating itself to maintain safety and optimum operating conditions.
So as this water precariously boils over it, this thing is really safe. In addition to being ready for the cold, they've tested it through compression, puncturing it, overcharging it, and it's all able to keep up. That's because it has 3 redundant safety systems going on in this. There is an EMS, an energy management system for all that storage, a CMS, a charging management system for whatever you may have plugged into it, and a BMS, battery management system, which you may be familiar with in electric cars.
This also has this great emergency light, like in case my power goes out. And if your power goes out, this can also work as a UPS, or uninterruptible power supply, which can do switching within 20 milliseconds. So Max, we're out here just looking at the mountains and the scenery in a real world use case scenario of the ETaker M2000, actually with a plug-in hybrid right here. This is the new Prius Prime, and we are charging it off the car.
Yeah, so lots of cars these days, be they plug-in hybrid or an EV, will offer like a 110 volt outlet in the car. For instance, like Hyundai vehicles, they have this sometimes in the back seat or through an adapter on the vehicle's charge port, some kind of bi-directional capability. And basically, right, you get that household outlet. So you can just charge the ETaker from a car this way up to its maximum input of 1200 watts with AC power. We're 94%, we don't really need a charge, but if you did in the middle of nowhere, you absolutely could do it off your car, be it gas or EV or somewhere in between, like this plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, it's not even just on the 110. If you don't have a 110 outlet per se,
you could use this 12 volt cigarette lighter port. They include the cable with it when you get the ETaker M2000 and easily charge it from that. Of course, you're not going to get that full speed because it's limited to 12 volts, but that's still going to, get you charged in a pinch if you need to with this battery. So no shortage of ways to charge it. Of course, we also have that input for solar panels or a portable wind turbine if you had that with you off grid.
Yeah, it's too bad this Prius does actually have solar panels on the roof, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, no direct way to connect the solar panels to the ETaker directly, but it's kind of cool that we know we're getting some of our power from the sun. And yeah, it works just fine out here, and you can even like charge it off the car if you're like driving on a road trip or driving hours into the mountains. Then that way, when you get to the mountains, it'll be topped up.
Yeah, much better compared to generator. You can really just charge it however you want. Jordan, what are you doing?
Max, I'm actually editing an out-of-spec reviews video, actually this very video on my computer in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Colorado wild, and I'm using the ETaker to power everything. I'm actually powering my laptop right now off a 110 outlet. We are using the USB-C ports to charge our microphone case because they're getting a little bit low on juice. This iPad Pro is using another one, and we even have this 2010 iPad still perfectly working, and having USB-A ports means I could actually plug in this vintage lightning connector, or not lightning, 30-pin connector to this iPad and get full power. So we're using a fraction of what this ETaker can do, but it's pretty cool to see it out in the wild, out in the middle of nowhere. You can kind of live almost off the grid and power whatever you need. We should have brought the kettle though, that would have been the perfect thing, because we are a little cold out here, the fall in Colorado. Tea would be nice, hot coffee. You could add a cooler. There's so many things you could throw in this thing, but it's fun having the car charged on the way out here and then using it in the middle of nowhere. It's even light enough, like we said, to strap it to your back. You could hike up a mountain. Maybe we'll do that in the future too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be easier than hauling the Prius up a mountain, so yeah.
That's super true. So yeah, it's fun we just wanted to show a little use case, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, real world use case, because this is actually how we would use it. You know, we're nerds out here. We just like to edit on the go wherever we are. So even if we had a car that didn't have a way to charge a laptop, you have the ETaker M2000.
Yep, and it doesn't matter what technology we have, be it an old iPad, be it a brand new laptop for editing, be it a drone, we can power it all from this.
Yep, so that's the real world use case scenario. Let's go wrap up.
I'm positively shocked at all the kinds of things you can do with just one ETaker M2000, let alone if you had a few of these. So charging devices, powering appliances, all that in all kinds of conditions, I like it. But do you think there's other kinds of uses or creative situations you could apply it to? Let us know in the comments. While you're down there, feel free to check out a link in the description to learn more about the ETaker M2000. Thank you for watching Out of Spec Reviews. I think it's a pretty cool device. Jordan, what about you?
Max, I really think this is my cup of tea. I'll take 10.